Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. The live stream, the podcast, and oh my God, that scar's looking good, is it not? This morning, it looks better today than it did yesterday. In terms of having a scar that changes the atmosphere when you walk into a room. Oh my goodness. Expats Portugal webinar tomorrow. And this is really bad timing because I've got some. Look, it's a little bit of an informal announcement of quite a big change. And a great development, I should say, for us, the Good Morning Portugal community, and for me particularly. I'll be hosting a new Portugal Resident podcast. So there'll be 2 episodes a week from the Resident, with me hosting them. Delighted to be doing so. A news review and a big interview every week. So watch out for that. More details to follow. But what a week to gash my forehead, as it were. When I first go on camera for the Portugal Resident podcast. Podcasts now, of course, are all visual as well as audio, aren't they? It will be both, and it will be on the usual platforms. And I'll be delighted to be talking to Natasha Dom once a week with her 3 news picks. There may be other special guests as well, and of course a range of guests when it comes to doing the Portugal Resident interview. So really delighted about that. But oh dear, I think I probably will have to think about getting some makeup, trim the beard. You and me in the mornings. It's nice and informal in here in the shed, isn't it? Easy going, but it's a different matter when I'm doing the Expats Portugal webinars and now the Portugal Resident podcast. I think I'm gonna have to put some foundation on and cover up my gash. So to stop it, Peter. Hopefully he's not here yet and not able to respond to that. And news of a new Netflix series as well. I'm not in this one, although happy to be on the phone occasionally. Hola, bon dia. Hola, bon dia, alegria. Did I say all of that this morning? It's so automatic and just such a brilliant anchor for a great start to the day for me to say hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club. And do you know, because it's a bit like getting in the car and driving somewhere, and then getting there, turning the engine off, and thinking, how did I just get here? And that's how it is this morning. So I'll do it for a 3rd time just to make sure I've done it. Okay. Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club, where we'll go in a moment to look at the Portugal Club citizenship test question 57. It's a lovely little lacy number this morning, and we will backtrack over the questions we haven't answered, probably from 2 days ago. Fairly obvious yesterday. But let's have a look at that tower-based question, number 55 from Monday. We'll go back to that. But yeah, the new Netflix series, perhaps. And let me put your comments onto the screen so you can comment in real time. Yeah, if you comment on the screen, and if you haven't done this before, it's very easy. I was going to say it's nothing to worry about. I mean, everything is tracked on the internet, so every comment you'll have ever made will probably be recorded somewhere. But look on the bright side, you're probably not going to be going for another job interview where this could be brought up. Can you imagine? And what do you think you could bring to the job? Where do you believe you'll see yourself in 5 years' time? And what's this you posted on the Good Morning Portugal timeline back in 2025? Not likely to happen, is it? Jobs? What's that? They'll be saying in years to come. It is another freezing day. Okay, this is the Netflix series, the Capricorn Chronicles. Let's go for it, shall we? Another Capricorn Chronicle. Mind the gap. Mind the gap. Mind the doors, please. The doors are closing on your public transport in London. Picture the scene. Chris is facing another freezing day, and my train is delayed by 7 minutes. The technology is so good now, isn't it? The inevitable delays. You're kept instead of improving the service has just got so much better at telling you how bad it is. So well done, everybody involved. So got the Lizzie line. That's a little bit too familiar, if you don't mind, young man. The Elizabeth line instead. Okay, so this is what happens. You have to get innovative on the British public transport. 7 minutes late, a life hack here, jumping on a different line instead. Dodge a few people blowing noses into kisses that are already disintegrating. Come on, Chris, please look it up. Susceptible host versus germ theory. You can't wander about in this terrified state. That's actually very bad for your immune system. The Lizzie line is a fantastic addition to the transport system in London. I should refer to it as the Elizabeth line, if you don't mind. Queen Elizabeth, connecting east to west. An amazing piece of engineering. So there you go, a bit of upside this morning. But this is why I don't hold on to the bars or straps. A fellow passenger just did something intimate. I can't read all these out. People might be having their breakfast, Chris. And then, okay. So people doing intimate things and then putting their hands back on the handrail. And sharing is caring, Chris. Now let's talk about the daily earpiece poverty person. You know, the person that plays their music through a loudspeaker. Are there not initiatives all over the world to show people how selfish they are for doing that? Earphones are so cheap. Do you carry some around that you can give to people? Is that what we're getting to here? You know, the person that plays their music through the loudspeaker on their phone. If it was a bit of jazz funk, that would be another matter. But apparently not. Chris has now disappeared after issuing that. Maybe he's having a rummage in his backpack. And he's issued that person, the daily earpiece poverty person. Oh, Christopher, you're sounding very pompous this morning and terrified, quite frankly. I hope the rest of the journey goes well. But there you go. There's another Capricorn Chronicle on the public transport of His Majesty's Great Britain. Good morning, everyone. From Gemini. Capricorn, you see a lot of weird people on the train. I bet you're Gemini, you're glad to be writing this from the privacy and safety of your own home. Bad habits, bad hygiene. It's life. It's life. All of life is there. A crush of society. Is that the collective noun for commuters? A crush. Caitlin Bygrove, good morning to you. Lovely to see more of you here in the mornings with your bottle of, that looks like a super box. Oh, no, that's a Sagros, isn't it? But name that bottle, name that bit. Maybe it's something else entirely, Kate Bygrave. Bon dia, Gampers. The Gampers, they'll be hanging about in the morning between 8 and 9 o'clock with the Gampers. You're getting into the habit here, Kate. Lovely to see that. And I know you like to have a go at the Portuguese citizenship test question, which is up. 57 is up. Lots of variety. We've got to question 57. See what I did there. Henry and Nina, good to see you both. Getting a bit chilly. That's going to be one of my news stories before we get to talk to Raquel and Nuno, our Portuguese BFFs. I really love speaking to these two on a monthly basis because they are true Portuguese friends, truly Portuguese, and they give us an angle on things. And I want to ask them about our expat's choice, our favourite. I haven't told you about this yet. But we've got, on behalf of us all, I've made the expat's choice for the presidential candidate. It is Senor Vieira. Actually, my successful neighbour and president of the local freguesia here is a Senor Vieira as well. There's something in the air with this victorious Vieiras. And I do want to talk to Nuno and Raquel about this. Where's it gone? I thought, here we go. He's the perennial candidate. He's not going to give up on his presidential campaigning until he's been elected. So you have his promise on that already. There he is. He's the chap who's voting. Well, who's promising us if we vote for him, which we can't. Incidentally, that's a bit of a bummer, isn't it? We can't vote for him. Is there not room for? Oh, what, Marcus? There's room for, with this particular candidate who always dresses up for the telly. I might be on Portuguese TV soon. There's a suggestion of that. I was asked last night, can I put your name forward to a Portuguese TV producer? Well, yeah, that'd be a very great experience. So maybe that soon as well. But here he is on Portuguese TV. Manuel João Vieira. He is the candidate, one of the candidates for the presidential election. Always is, apparently, and he's promising wine on tap. So you turn on your tap, and we did play the video for you. You turn on the tap, and out comes wine. And not only that, you'll have a Ferrari parked outside. Ferraris, Italy must be getting behind him. If he's going to be buying, 10 million Ferraris? Well, actually, he doesn't need to buy 10 million. It's probably one per household. We don't need to be greedy about it, do we? Can you imagine how fast Portuguese people will be driving if they all get a Ferrari? I mean, they're in an old fellow killer, whatever they get, Matovelhas vehicles, and then souped up, two-seater vans and motorbikes going at quite the lick already. What happens if everyone gets I'm going off the idea now. What if everybody gets a Ferrari here in Portugal? Well, that's what he's promising. and a fornication, of course, a fornication based policy of adjusting the pigment of the Portuguese population as well. I think you can use your imagination to guess what's happening there. But I should certainly ask Raquel or Nuno about this fella. Nuno, not a fan. I think Raquel seeing the funny side, maybe Nuno not so much. And anything else you want to ask them? I need to ask about pet insurance. Oh my God. Gashed my head the night before last. Yesterday, we had a bit of a situation with one of our cats, and a little fella, one of the little fellas got run over, it would appear, and broke a leg. So that was part of the drama of yesterday. And of all the people in the household, me moaning about cats most regularly of a morning here, I think it hit me the hardest. I was quite upset by the whole episode yesterday. I found it quite difficult. And so he's taking it easy, and we're going to find out about his prognosis. And I mean, animals are so beautiful, aren't they, in their suffering? They don't make a massive song and dance about it like we humans do. There he is. He's just stoically, nobly facing his plight. Bless him. Incredible. So yeah, we're thoughts, prayers, and love for little Lenny, and the predicament that he's in at the moment that cast a shadow over the Casa Munson yesterday. Right, where were we? Looking at freezing weather, I think, in the Portugal news. Cristiano Ronaldo met President Trump. There's a few sentences from that reporting in the Resident I would like to touch upon as well if we have time. Great session last night, actually. Two great sessions last night. 6 o'clock, I spoke to Gary Coulton. It's a spin-off podcast. It's the Positive Echo. Last night, we talked again about legacy. Thanks for your company on that, Pete. And Gary's posted up on his Substack the process that we talked about. And it was great, actually. It was his post is called Our Limiting Beliefs and the Questions That Free Us From Them, a practical guide to thinking partnerships and rewriting the stories that hold us back. If you'd like to peruse that, it's a free Substack. It begins, this week is about investigating the negative things we believe about ourselves and a practical way to dissolve them. He's giving you the game plan here, should you want that. So take a look at that if you want to challenge some of your negative beliefs. You might not. You might love your negative beliefs. No judgment here. Just a tool if you need it. And who doesn't like a tool if they need it first thing in the morning? But great work, Gary. Wonderful conversation with him at 6 last evening. And then at 8, talking to Ben Tudo Austin, and we had John Wood on there. He'd moved from the morning slot to the evening slot, and a lovely agency, real estate agent, Anastasia, who came over a few days before war broke out in her native Ukraine. And she was describing the situation of she was actually going on holiday to Brazil, I think, when war broke out, and didn't go home. Quite extraordinary. She tells that story. That was on our Find Your Home in Portugal podcast, which we did at 8 last night as well. We better get a move on, actually. Only 7 or so minutes until Raquel joins us. And I better make sure they've got the link. And yes, note to all the co-hosting selves, it is the same link now for the esteemed and hallowed place that is the online Good Morning Portugal virtual studio. It's the same link every time, should you be one of our regulars. So just sending that over to friends Raquel and Nuno now. We'll talk a little bit with Raquel about the wonderful help she gave us to become an LDA here in Portugal. It's quite a learning curve, but it just feels so much better than what we were doing before, and great to put a year of trying behind us as well, getting used to a different aspect of Portuguese bureaucracy. And obviously, the first question I want to ask Nuno this morning is, can you tell me about pet insurance, please, Nuno? Because we've got, I don't know, a $5,000 operation bill or something with little Lenny potentially. We'll find out about him later on today, I suspect, from the vets. Right. We've dealt with the Capricorn Chronicles on the public transport of His Majesty's United Kingdom. Good to see you, Henry and Nina. Yes, you were prompting me out in central Portugal to speak of the cold weather. Let's say a few hellos and go there, shall we, in the Portugal news. Bom dia, Malta. Congratulations, mate. Thank you very much. I'm guessing that's on the Portugal Resident podcast there. Cheers, mate. Bom dia, Gumpers. It's snowing here on the canal. Just sent a video, Carl. Wow. Shall we have a look at some British snow? Oh, my goodness. Claudia went up to the UK. I'm not seeing a video from you. Did you do that on Messenger? Oh, and there's a video from... Oh my goodness, Chris, that really just the still from your video. I'm not seeing that yet, Jackie. Your video from. I'd love to see some snow. We can. It always just suddenly feels better being here in Portugal when we see terrible weather from other parts of the world, having moaned about how freezing it is here. We'll go back to that in just a moment. I'm guessing you might have sent that to me on Messenger there. So let me open up another window on our screen here and see if you sent it to me. Yes, you did. You sent it that way. So how do I? It's going to be better for. Oh, look, I can do a download there. Thank you very much. That's also coming into the pipeline. Then, love your videos, your pictures. 913-590-303. Thank you, Jackie and Chris. Come back to those in just a minute. And maybe, fortunately, we may never get round to talking about the cold weather here in Portugal. Winkwell, what's that then? And what's Jackie talking about there? Gary, good to see you, mate. Feels like snow is coming. It's already there on the canal. Where is she? Coach Turner also in. Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz Carta. Properly stormy here in Blighty today, so no walk this morning. So a 10-minute rowing machine session is on the cards, then a shower and a coffee. Are you in Berkhamsted? Isn't that a great name? People who are not native to the UK, there's a place called Berkhamsted, everybody. T-Duck, where you been? A little bit late this morning. Good to see you. Ian, yes, still here, waiting on engine bits. I've got a Perkins 3-cylinder. Ooh, sounds serious. So bits coming from Europe. Are you in the area? Beautiful sunrise this morning. Morning glory for Pete. Is there not room for? Isn't there not room for? Morning to you, Marcus. Lovely to see you. We're about 30 minutes away from Potter's Bar. There's a lovely name as well. It's Sagres in that picture, everybody. Although Superboc is just as good. Yes, that is controversial. The cat amongst the pigeons there. A walk away. Matty, good morning to you. Bom dia, alegria a todos. E feliz quarta-feira. To you. Winkwell, all these lovely British names of towns and villages, aren't they lovely? Perkins engines were made in Peterborough, where my in-laws come from, so not sure why parts have to come from. It's all gone over there to the continent, mate. Don't make nothing in the UK no more. Maybe they don't make them in the US. Perhaps right there. Ian, if you're looking for a good breakfast, you want the Fisheries Cafe. Sounds good. Yeah, Giza, egg, bacon, chips and beans, love, couple of slices on the side, cup of tea. The owners are friends of mine and proper lovely, not cheap, but worth the money. Hemel is great for shopping. I was there yesterday. Check you out. Okay, thank you very much. Let's play a couple of vids if we've got time before we speak to Nuno and Raquel. We will also look at a few news items.
Carl, if you can hear me, Jesus Christ, it is cold. So I'm outside the Tate Modern. Look at me. Jeez, I look like a crazy person. This is how cold it is, Carl. Look at my jacket. Look.
He does look. What is he?
It doesn't wear shorts or doesn't wear trousers normally. Normally I'm in shorts all year round. But Jesus, this is cold. So, for you guys in Portugal thinking it's cold, it's not as cold as it is here. Bloody hell. Anyway, this is Chris.
Language, Timothy.
Being a reporter for Good Morning Portugal. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bless you, mate.
God,
it does look cold. Yes, I think we've got the message. It seems to be cold in the UK. Wow. Bit of snow as well. Snow. Oh, wow, Jackie. It looks really beautiful. Thank you for the pictures. That's close enough for me. Oh, my goodness. I can feel that cold right there. I suddenly feel much warmer here in the garage. I mean the studio of Good Morning Portugal. Right. Let's have a look at what's going on for Portugal weather-wise then. Portugal facing freezing temperatures, -4 possibly. Nuno, insurance man Nuno, of course, will be wondering how this might affect things, I suspect, as well. Portugal facing -4 degrees, facing those temperatures, according to the Portuguese Institute of Sea and Atmosphere. Let's just call them IPMA, shall we? Although the week began with some showers, they're absolutely peed down. What are you talking about? Still influenced by Storm Claudia. From today onwards, a gradual drop. This was reported yesterday. Still influenced by Storm Claudia, the gradual drop in minimum and maximum temperatures will begin to be felt starting on Wednesday today. Situation is due to the positioning of the anticyclone west of the British Isles. Flipping at you lot, keep it to yourselves, which extends in a ridge from the Madeira archipelago, transporting a mass of polar air in its circulation. Well, you can keep it, Brits. We've had the pictures, and that'll do nicely. Oh my goodness. Wowzers. Look at that. So -4 possibly in some parts of Portugal. Another thing that caught me eye, we'll do the Portuguese citizenship test with Raquel and Nuno, put them on the spot about their own culture. Cristiano, yes, Nuno, but good to see you, mate. See you soon. And also, Cristiano Ronaldo popped in. This was interesting to me because I would hope that he would be going to the White House to represent Portugal. Turns out he was part of a different delegation. He went to the White House. That was, I think, in the early hours of yesterday morning, possibly, or this morning, set to meet Trump at any second as an unofficial member of the Saudi Arabian delegation, not a Portuguese representative. Well, he is, of course. He's synonymous with the country, but he went with he's like he's bought and paid for, right? Saudi Arabian delegation, which is visiting the White House this afternoon, headed by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He plays for Al Nassr, of course, and he wasn't included, was he, in the squad after the match before that, where he behaved a little bit strangely, it had to be said, and got sent off. His reappearance in the US comes at a symbolic moment. Next year's FIFA World Cup, of course, will be hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And Portugal secured qualification on Sunday with a commanding 9-1 victory over Armenia at the Estadio do Dragão up there in Porto. So very interesting. And he wanted to speak to Trump about world peace. Ronaldo said, Cristiano, CR7, if the world is at peace, that's our goal, Ronaldo said. He's one of the people who can change or help change the world, talking about President Trump. And that's my main objective, to meet Trump and talk about world peace. And isn't it funny how it's come to something in our world where world peace is a discussion between a real estate billionaire turned TV star and a football player. Quite extraordinary times we live in, I think you'll agree. Nice big round of applause for Raquel, who I think is ready to join us. May want to comment on that.
Hi.
Hola, bom dia, tudo bem?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Good. Sorry for the not usual setting, but this was the possible setting today.
You are displaying the great Portuguese ability to improvise and innovate whenever. Yeah. There you go. So well done, and thank you so much for being here for our monthly chat. I do look forward to chatting with you and Nuno, because you are our Portuguese BFFs, and you give us a view on things that we can't have by ourselves as non-natives. Maybe we should talk about this one before Nuno gets it. I don't think he approves of this gentleman. What? Actually, how rude of me. How are you? What's going on for you before we get into all of these things?
Everything is fine. Everything is great. I've been doing more talks, and I am planning one for January. So let's hope that it's a Portugal culture immersion program live. So I'm hoping that it's going to be really good. And it's about these little pearls, like you say good morning before lunch and good afternoon after lunch, or how you do business during lunch. All of those quirkinesses that Portuguese have that expats might not know. And so it's a Portugal culture immersion. Like, why is it that on the beach, no matter how much space there is, they're always going. Portuguese will always station themselves right at your side, even if there's kilometers and kilometers of white sand. This is a known fact. And so there's a lot of them, but I have been talking with a lot of people, and I've been so grateful for receiving such feedback. The other day I was talking to a client that's from Nigeria, and she was saying that she was admiring this amazing country because she never saw it anywhere else. And she was a traveled person that, for instance, at bus stops, usually guys let her pass before her, and she was like, why is this happening? And then she realized it's because she was a woman. Right. And we do this naturally. Or at the shopping, at the supermarket, people will look at the amount of things that you have, and they will let you pass if it's only one or two. And
Yeah.
apparently this doesn't happen very often anywhere else in the world. And so that is what I'm exploring in this Portuguese culture immersions, along with some history and those little things.
I love it.
Yeah, this is going to be in January, and I hope that it goes well. It's about 1.5 to 2 hours of immersion. There's going to be, interactive things and questions and things, but I am finding out that talks is what I really liked and enjoy doing. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing more of these.
And this is an earlier one, presumably, that we're looking at here.
Yes.
This is you in your element, isn't it? Clearly.
Exactly. So that's why I like to show these videos. This is doing business in Portugal. It was here in Cascais, in a lovely place.
Yeah.
And it was just, and look, Carl, you know me. I am as Portuguese as they come, right? And so I had another partner, which was Bridget, and she had there she is, and she had her presentation all prepared, everything prepared. I arrived, I knew I would be second, and I had no freaking idea what I would be saying, what I would be talking about. Like, I went to my phone while she was speaking. I went through the title of the talk, and then she gave me a little notebook, as she gave all of them, and I started to scribble on my talk, essentially. And so by the time it was my turn to speak, I had like 3 loose papers from the pad, and I was like, you know what this is? You know what I just did? This is Descanso. And I
It is.
actually wrote Descanso because I told them I wasn't inspired. I didn't know, you have to read the room. You have to know. I never want to really plan anything because it really depends on the people that are there. And so it was a good time that I had to read the room. It was 12 people, 14 people, not more than that. So it was a very intimate setting. And so I couldn't just do like I did with 100 and something people, right? And so it was really fun to start that way, to start really showing off. Look what I just did now. I
And
just
I think
scribbled.
it looks like such fun as well. And yeah, so a Portuguese approach to doing your presentation. And
Yeah.
these look like they could be library shots from Canva of you type in people having a great time, but these are real, aren't they? These aren't library
Yes.
shots. These are actually
These are from my Lighthouse alumni meeting, and that, when I was there, I was really nervous, of course, and I was enjoying, but I was really busy trying to talk to everybody, trying to make everybody comfortable, trying to get across the message that I did want to get across. So I wasn't really, my mind was so all over the place that I didn't really, wasn't present, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When I started to see the pictures and the videos, my God, I mean, my face, I think, tells it all. I
Yeah.
was in awe. I was marveled. I was happy. I was ecstatic. I was surrounded by the people that I like. I was doing something that I like and that I think that is meaningful. And you see even through the other people's faces that we were all having fun, and it was all really great, and enjoyable. So I guess looking at the pictures when they were done was kind of a haha moment, like, okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing, probably.
Yeah, it's incredible, and you're choosing to do this in real life. Most people would just do a Zoom call, wouldn't they, on this for convenience and so on? But you're going to the bother of doing this IRL, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, against everything I've ever advocated for, which is, when I worked corporate, I was very much a fighter for being at home working, because I could never work there. Everybody was interrupting. I had 20,000 meetings and the phone, and so
Yeah.
I think I manifested COVID in a way, because I was so fed up of being in the office, and I had just had a problem in my back, and so I was doing physiotherapy twice a week. And those 2 days that I started working from home, I was like, this is the solution. This is the way that I want to go. And so I think I just manifested COVID
Pandemic.
and the lockdowns just to be at home. So
Well, there's
against
a news
everything
story.
I ever said, I actually think that these events are better in person than online.
Yeah, well, things change, don't they? You know, we've immersed ourselves in online connection.
Yes. And I
You know,
think now we're missing the in-person,
absolutely,
connection.
it's like the vinyl of life. We're going back to vinyl
Yeah.
after years of digital music. Some people want
Yeah, and it's better to read the room. I mean, people are, I can see their faces better. I can, because I'm very intuitive, right? I need to see them. I need to feel their expression to see that if I need to crack a joke or not, to make them feel more at ease or not. And and then it's also awesome. It's also a thing when you suddenly look in front of you and there's 100 and something people looking at you and listening to what you're saying. And so that also is an impressive feeling to have. And so I
pretty
think
real.
that's what I want to do.
Some people's worst nightmare. Now, your alumni, we'll bring it
And
Nuno on in just a moment because I'm sure Nuno will have something to say about online work compared to or complemented by real life as well. We interviewed somebody on our Find Your Home in Portugal show, me and Tudo Bem Austin, last week. And I was talking to this chap about him starting up his business. Your alumni, turns out, are everywhere. We had Daniel from Ajuda Home Inspections. Yes, I got some help from somebody you know, actually, Raquel. So, yeah, great to see him there. And the sort of person who might turn up to your in real life cultural immersion session. Who else is it aimed at? Before we go to Nuno, who's the ideal candidate to turn up to this, Raquel?
it's both. So it's this time it's not so focused on business, so it's more broad. It's more
Yeah,
generic to people that just arrived, because I find there are a lot of people there, in my networks. I'm very present in women networks, and what I see is that they don't necessarily still have an idea of a business, but they really want to integrate. They really want to give a lot back to Portugal, and they're not necessarily because Portuguese people are really hard to understand, because we don't make sense a lot of times. So you really need someone to explain things that don't make sense.
okay,
So I think it's needed in a sense of an explanation, like a rule book of, here, this is how Portugal works and functions. These are the bad things. These are the good things. This is what you can expect. These are the wonderful things. And now you can see if this is something that you can adapt to, if this is something that you've experienced yourself or not. But I think it's kind of a crash course on Portuguese people and culture. And
very
I
good.
think that probably only someone that's been here for 20 something years or something like that is able to have, even then, is going to have this comprehension. So I'm trying to make that path easier for people. And like Daniel, he ended up receiving a bunch of pastéis de bacalhau for free just because of something that I told him. So
It was it, right? Okay, yes. Okay. Maybe that's why he called his company Ajuda.
ajuda.
Somebody came to his aid. Right. Smash that like button, says T Duck. Portuguese people don't make sense. Then you must be Portuguese, Jackie. No, it doesn't work that way round. If you don't make sense, it doesn't mean you're Portuguese. It's not necessarily anyway. But Jackie, I think you've got a pretty good shoe into the Portuguese way of being and thinking. Let's bring our great mate Nuno onto the screen to add to this conversation. See if he makes any sense this morning.
Hello.
Hi,
How you doing,
Morning,
Nuno?
everyone.
Great
Morning,
to see you, mate.
Raquel. Good morning to
how are
all.
you?
All good, all good.
Very good.
So,
Go on. You got to add to that, I suspect.
to add to what?
Portuguese people making sense or not, and this idea of an immersion service, it's wonderful what Raquel's doing. I remember the first session I had like that was with Michael Heron. I met Michael Heron because he was delivering a Portuguese immersion service. He's not Portuguese, of course. He's half Brit, half Argentinian, but he was speaking from his experience. He was doing it from a foreigner's point of view. And it was really good. So thoroughly approve of this. Nuno, I imagine you think it's quite a good idea as well. You deal with a lot of foreigners, and they keep coming up against things that could be explained to them maybe in an hour and a half of immersion in the way that Raquel's suggesting. So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. And as you know, I deeply believe in the human approach, even if we are
Yes,
talking about the business.
yes,
And being human is understanding others. So if we don't understand people, we don't understand business. Basically, this. So we need to be connected. We need to be, I just love technology. I love technology, but I also believe that we need to humanize technology. See,
yes.
so human technology is to escalate and to ease the processes, but not to do business. See, so
Okay.
to be in contact with people is how we relate, and sometimes we start becoming friends. Other times we start doing the business, and I don't like much these words. And then we start being friends. So it's a win-win, because if we put ourselves behind the mask of the technology, the computers, and the efficiency only, we will never understand others.
And we've
So
done that, I think, haven't we? This is an awakening for foreigners coming to Portugal, I think. I had a little situation the other day where I went into the shop where I organised car rental, car hire, and I said to the chap who I normally speak to wasn't there, and his one of his colleagues was, I think it's his wife actually, and I said, "Oh, I'd like I'd like to book a car for this particular date." And then I was aware that after that, I was emailing and WhatsApping this guy. He's a friend. He's really helpful, and he has been ever since we first met him 8 years ago in San Martino de Porto, where he drove me. He said, "Get in the car. I'll drive. I can't help you, but I'll drive. I'll drive you somewhere where we can get this sorted out." And it was an amazing taste of what was to come in Portugal. And I've still got this habit where I'm thinking, if he hasn't replied to my emails and WhatsApp by the time I get to when I'm picking the car up, I've got these inner butterflies thinking he's not seen it. Why hasn't he responded to my important email and my WhatsApp messages? And even right up until the moment I was standing in the shop to pick the car up, I'm thinking he's looking a bit sheepish. He must have not been able to do this. He's going to tell me I haven't been able to do it, because that's happened to me and Colin. We've been to go and pick a car up that we're supposed to be demoing, and when we've got there, the Portuguese car dealer said, "Sorry, we can't do it today." And we're thinking, like, well, they could have phoned us to tell us that. But that's part of doing business in person as well, right? That's the other part of it.
we are always on a hurry, and
Yeah,
because of that, we focus on time and efficiency,
yeah.
and we forget that
Yeah.
we are humans, and we are handling all the time with humans.
But the Portuguese do that, because far from this fella with the car rental saying to me, "I'm really sorry." In my mind, this is what I was preparing myself for. I was thinking, my family want to go out on a day trip, and said I would get them a nice car to do this, and now he's going to tell me it can't be done. We're going to have to go in our old banger. And he looked up at me whilst he was serving some other people. He said, "Here's the key, Carl. Everything in the email, fine. The car's better than the one you usually have, and it's the same price. Have a great day." It was just like, and it was like, oh, I felt so bad, because it was all about my conditioning and expectations, which were smashed in that moment, because he hadn't thought it doesn't work that everything gets replied, but still everything got done behind the scenes.
Wow, that's a great example.
Isn't it? And this is what foreigners have to get used to, right, Raquel? You recognize this thing?
That's a great example, because it's not like we don't care. It's like we're not doing the work. It's we don't have enough time to be that polite and reply and say, "Oh, yes, I'm dealing with it, Carl. Don't worry." It's just we get it done. And once we get it done, we're okay. Like, we don't need to give any explanations. As long as Carl came in and he gave you the key and said, "Here, there you go," everything was fine.
Yes.
You
And
know,
it's such a learning curve.
There is a tricky situation involving babies, so very little children, because if you have your baby and we meet in the street, the Portuguese people, we want to touch and do a hug to the baby, and the culture from the north of Europe, it's like it's our
Hands off.
baby, don't
Yeah.
touch ever. So, so sometimes we may do things that people understand that are not cool at all, but it's our way of handling
You
Intention.
see where we need the
things.
explanation, we need the bridge, because for us, babies are magical. Babies are beings from other planets. We are like in awe of their existence, although we've been them ourselves. And for them, it's just their kid. But for us, it's like, oh, and so we tend to be touchy, but a bit more like Spanish, like Nuno is saying. And here's another aspect that needs to be explained, because Portuguese people and in general Latin cultures have just so much love for babies and families, and and these ties, that it's very different from UK or the most Germanic or Upper East Europe cultures that are like more hands off, like Nuno was saying. And so this probably makes them go crazy, right, Nuno? Like we're touching my babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that when we first got here. Two parts of that. One is the older ladies coming up to the kids, toddlers, and touching them on the head. Linda, Linda. And we're like, what's happening? What's happening here? And it's like, okay, yeah, now we understand. And then that's the really warm, loving side, isn't it? And then there's the look of consternation, because we use slings, and sometimes our kids might not have shoes on or not be covered up as much as the Portuguese old ladies think they should be covered up. So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
is that baby warm enough? It's like you've almost committed a crime because you took your baby out without 7 layers on. It's like, we're from England. Oh, okay, fair enough. We're sweltering under 2 layers here. It's like, oh, okay,
We
fine.
spot you right there because your babies are like half naked. And I always say, these are British, or these are from the UK or Northern Europe or whatever, because in September, people in Portugal are already like with scarves and stuff, and the babies have 14 layers of wool. And
Yesterday with our cat episode, we've got to talk about pet insurance, Nuno. But when the neighbours phoned us, this is a lovely Portuguese moment as well. We were out and about, and we got a call from our neighbours saying that one of our cats had something wrong with his leg. So we were like, I don't know, 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away, and a horrible drive back to find out what was going on. A little bit of a language barrier, but enough to know we needed to get back in a hurry. And 4 neighbours outside the house looking after, making sure the cat was okay until we got back. And then the lady came back, the main lady who was involved, and helped us get the cat into the cat basket and off to the vet. And she came back, and my son came out without any shoes on to come and see what was going on. And she went like this and pointed at his bare feet. And I said, "Get back in the house, put some shoes on now," because that's a real no-no as well, isn't it?
oh yeah,
I mean,
like
she saw he had no shoes on and sort of recoiled like this, and pointed at his feet. What's that about?
Priority was the cat.
Yes, true. Definitely priority was the cat.
you need to be warm in your feet, please, for
Yeah.
heaven's sakes.
Yeah, okay. All right, point taken then. I'll make sure he's got his shoes and socks on whenever he's about to leave the house. The shoes and socks are by the door. We'll make sure he puts them on. Right. Lovely insights into Portuguese culture, and definitely do the immersion course. I think, Nuno, you were going to add a little bit more there, possibly.
Oh, no.
Okay,
But
all
that.
right. All right.
Well, we can keep talking about this. We have several
Oh my
several
goodness,
examples,
hours.
but
Yes, yeah. Nuno's very forward thinking. I think you are absolutely right, Nuno, about this balance of getting technology in the right place, supporting what we do rather than dominating what we do. And I think you've hit the right note with that, and your customers seem to think so as well, which is great. And from Jackie, wonderful to see the lovely Raquel again, the magical visa expert we all need. Another story of great Portuguese kindness. My Uber driver in Porto drove me around for an extra 25 minutes after he stopped the clock to help me find my car rental office. Awesome. He got out and translated for me, and when we found it, he offered to come in and help sort it with them. I politely declined, but talk about
Yeah.
above. Absolutely.
I have so many examples of that, and this Nigerian person was saying exactly the same example. She had some kind of exam or whatever, and the taxi driver just couldn't find the address, so he just grabbed her in the arm and started running with her to the appointment, like almost like, this is I'm going to be abducted, but in a good way, because I'm going to be just deposited in where I need to be. And then he was off, and she was like, "Oh, thank you," but she wasn't even able to thank him, because he was like, "Okay, now I'm done. Thank you, bye." And so
Clear the way. This woman has an examination.
yes, and that was his goal. That was his mission. So he got her there, and his job was done.
Yeah, amazing. How lovely. Oh, look, I recently had a bit of a cold. My builder told me, Portuguese builder, it's because I don't wear my shoes to bed in the winter. Now I'm thinking he was being serious. So try that, everybody, to avoid a cold. Wear your shoes to bed. In Portugal. Maybe that's why the beds are a bit shorter. So you wear your shoes. I mean, I've noticed this. The beds, especially the old ones, the not the antique ones, but like vintage beds, a little bit shorter than your IKEA bed, perhaps. There's some space at the end to hang your feet out with your shoes on. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Right. Just to add then to Jackie's feedback, I want to thank you once more, Raquel, for helping us get the business started. We really are rocking and rolling. We're learning a new level of Portuguese bureaucracy, but it feels so much better for the right people. I think going from green receipts, being a self-employed person, to having a business is so much more advantageous if you have certain other criteria you want to meet. I think if you're serious about business in the long term, the LDA is the right vehicle, and we're so grateful to you, Raquel, for helping us.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was such a pleasure, and such a difficult journey as well. Then at this last bit, I think it was a cosmical thing, once the time was right, it was really easy and simple. It was a no-brainer. So I think there was something cosmical there that didn't allow us to go on. And I think it's true. It's another level of commitment, of seriousness, if I can say the word. And it can be bigger, it can be independent of you. And so it's like lighthouse consulting, people know lighthouse consulting and insurance, and it's kind of independent of Raquel or Nuno. So they take, they take a little bit of a life of their own, and that is good, because then they can grow a lot. I think that's the main difference.
Yep. So recommend that if you're coming to Portugal and you intend to trade, do look at that as an option, and have a chat with Raquel about that. You find, says Gemini, growing up in UK, as she was talking earlier on about, the Portuguese people are very orientated, very bonded with families. They get married and are still with their parents, which is nice. And you find growing up in UK, USA, they are not bonded to their families. There are people who have not talked to their brothers or sisters for years. That's normal. I'm sure some Portuguese people do fall out with their siblings, but I guess there's a different net and context to hold that, and you might be bound to connect with each other in a way that you might not be in other cultures where you can be a little bit more self-oriented. Pet insurance, got to talk to you about that, Nuno. Mrs. M looked at me after the cat had a series of X-rays, pain relief, anti-inflammatories, and an emergency appointment. She said, we didn't get that pet insurance organized, did we? A lot of your customers must find themselves prompted by life's events before they get in touch with you. What can you tell us about pet insurance?
Well, pet insurance it's basically the liability insurance and the health insurance for the pet, for the cat or the dog. basically. There is a tricky point regarding pet insurance, which is, as far as we know, only one insurer in the Portuguese market insure animals for the same, not the same breed, the same species, that if they attack between themselves, they are covered. The damages are covered. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if a cat bites a dog, or the reverse, they will be covered. But if from the same species, only one insurer covers that. Of course, we don't think ever on cats, but dogs are very, very common that one dog could bite another one, and they are not covered. Okay. Only one insurer in the Portuguese market covers that.
Yeah, I completely understood yesterday why some people have house cats now. It's they are taking their life in their hands, aren't they? When they go wandering about, and is that a trend that you see increasing in Nuno? People who have cats that only stay indoors.
Oh yes, yes, because pets are leaving the animal, the animal idea to be part of the family.
Yes,
it's an extension of the family.
Yes.
So yes, they are mainly, especially people that live in apartments. Cats kept all the time into home.
And the funny thing I found out about Australia recently was that you can only have house cats. You're not allowed to have a pet cat that goes outdoors, apparently, which is really blew my mind. And so there are things like catios. Your patio gets turned into a catio, which is a massive cage for your cat, apparently, in Oz. More great feed. Thanks, Nuno, on that. People can get in touch for pet insurance, and presumably it would cover if your cat got run over, which we think happened to ours. The coverage for those operations and so on will be in insurance. What's an approximate premium for pet insurance here in Portugal? Nuno, have you got an idea off the top of your head?
It depends, and I'm not talking about the dog species that are considered dangerous. I'm talking about the regular ones. So the liability insurance, the annual premium could cost 70 or 90 euros.
Okay.
I think. Then the health insurance, it depends on the age of the pet. Also, it depends if they are a cat or a dog.
Yes.
So, but you can count with 300 euros for that, roughly, yearly.
All right. Okay.
Yearly.
Yeah, we should say yearly because Americans will be hearing that monthly or daily, actually. £300.
And thinking that's normal.
Yes, right. It is. Right. I highly recommend chatting with Raquel. She put my mind at ease and gave me so much confidence and info. This adorable lady is worth her weight in gold. Thanks, Jackie. And for Nuno, can we insure with you, Nuno, for the journey from UK to Portugal? In what sense, Jackie? Is that for your travel or your contents? How would you respond to that, Nuno?
Yeah, I should say that yes, definitely. Because we have starting with the insurance that is required to get the visa to your life in Portugal. So yes,
it's a yes.
No problem at all. Yes.
You need to get into the specifics and then get an email from Nuno's digital assistant. Very efficient. Somebody who's benefited from your technology there. You can see him in real life on the screen every month here on the Good Morning Portugal show, and you can be in touch with him through the technology that Winsurance use. And your team tend to work from home, don't they, Nuno? They have a blended sort of work life. Is that how it works?
No, we are. It depends. If we have new people into the office, we stay more days. We are being now 4 days at office and 1 day working from home. But for example, last week, due to the severe weather, they stay working from home. I think that 2 or 3 days.
Right. Okay. Very good. And we've moved on from Claudia for you as an insurance concern to freezing temperatures, maybe burst pipes and those sorts of things as well. So make sure you've dealt with that, folks, to avoid any inconvenience of that kind. Burst pipes presumably aren't a massive problem here in Portugal, are they? Freezing pipes and that sort of thing.
In some interior regions, yeah. because
be.
it gets below zero, below
Okay.
5 or 6, and like we at our farm in Cruz, that happened. Like the pipes were frozen, and we were like, "Why isn't the water coming out?" Because the water is frozen.
Instead of-
Uh,
yeah.
so it does. It can happen, and in the northern regions even more, of course. Yes.
Very good. Okay. On that note, then, I mustn't forget this, and I do want to find out what you think about the final election. The Portuguese people have been through a grueling election process, haven't they? One of one kind or another, and the final election, for the time being, anyway, will happen on the 18th of January for the president. We'll come back to that because I want to put you on the spot and quiz you with our Portuguese citizenship test question for the day. This was a couple of days ago. Don't worry, it's fine. They're not that difficult. Sometimes they're a bit complicated because there are two possible answers. But this was Monday. We didn't answer this. What is the name of the famous tower in Lisbon built in the 16th century? Most people went for the Belém Tower. Raquel, what would you say on that?
What are the? I'm sorry, I can't see.
It was the Belém Tower, the São Jorge Castle, or the Ajuda Palace, the name of the famous tower in Lisbon built in the 16th century.
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay. There isn't an option for that. What about you, Nuno?
Should be Belém Tower because others are not towers. It's a castle and the palace.
Very good. Yep, excellent. And the Belém Tower, literally the Bethlehem Tower, officially the Tower of Saint Vicente, is a 16th century fortification located in Lisbon that served as a point of embarkation and disembarkation for Portuguese explorers and as a ceremonial gateway to Lisbon. Is the backstory on that. However, let's move on to today's question. I'm simulating a Portuguese citizenship test here, which is inevitable, I think, in the future here in Portugal. So just getting people ready for this. And often with Portuguese, with any citizenship test in the world, not even nationals pass these, do they? It's something. It's something that foreigners have to face. Let's see how you guys get on with this one now. Today's test question, then 57. Which region is known for its lace making tradition? We've already had one vote on this. Is it A, Madeira? Say again.
Belarus.
As in Belarus, as in a different
Renda de Belarus.
Okay.
Is that on there?
Well, the choices I've got are Madeira, Minho, or Alentejo.
Minho.
Maybe Minho.
Yeah, Kate Bygrave's chosen that as well. The Portuguese BFFs are with you on that one there, on your guess. Well done on that. I think that's fair to say for Kate there. Well done. Thank you, Kate, for joining us this morning. Right, in the last couple of minutes then, I like the guy who wants us to have wine coming out of our taps. He is a local as well. I think he teaches in a school near me in Caldas de Rainha. We, us expats, you can understand why we might be attracted towards this candidate, right? Senor Vieira, who wants wine coming out of the taps, a Ferrari for every Portuguese person, and a program of making our skin pigmentation the same through a rigorous fornication routine. That was a little bit. I mean, is this what he's saying, right? These are some of his policies. Am I correct?
Yes.
Well,
but
he's been here all along. Every election, he's here.
Oh, okay. He's
an historical figure.
Right. And so it sounds like clearly he hasn't been elected yet, but he is also threatening to not step out until he is elected.
He was a singer in the band. He was always a crazy person. At a time, he was a singer at a band, a really crazy band. And then apparently the band strayed off and he continued to be the insane person that he is. But he always, I think it's on presidentials that he does this, but he always does this. He gets the signatures, or he tries to get the signatures enough to get a place there. And then he has this outlandish and outrageous proposals. I think this is also part of Portugal, because it's not like we don't take seriously the elections. We do, but it's also kind of, that is a political protest in disguise. That is a social protest in disguise. Okay. And so what he does is, of course, he makes it into a dummy, into a character that is outrageous and that is silly. But underneath that, there is a political movement and a political stance that he has that nobody else really can have that clearly. So this is a testament to the freedom and the liberty that Portugal allows citizens to have, even when it comes to elections.
Well said. Well said. He plays the part of the jester in the royal court.
Precisely.
He says he can say things, and he does get on TV, doesn't it? I mean, he gets his fair amount of airtime. I've seen, that still is taken from a TV show, a news program. And so he's able to say things in this position that other people might be thinking that would ruin the chances of any other candidate. But there he is. He's an institution, it would appear. And I'd never heard of him before until this political presidential campaign. So, and you can understand why us foreigners quite like the idea of wine coming out of the taps. It's not that big a deal to go to the supermarket and pay €3 for a bottle of wine, but to have it coming out of the taps is just another level of comfort that we quite like the sound of. What do you think of him, Nuno?
Well, first, I only heard about him. The first time that I heard about him, it was on last week Expats Portugal webinar.
Really?
Yes. And when Daniel Reis talked about him, I said, "What? Let me search." And I start searching, Googling, and I said, "Oh, what is? How is this possible?" So yeah, I get some surprise about this guy.
All right.
So, but it's not serious. We understand that it's not serious. So it's an expression. It's as Raquel said. It's kind of he can joke with what is happening in Portugal, in the society, with the parties and so on.
Well, long may
isn't it wonderful?
Yeah,
that he can do that.
Yeah. We had the Monster Raving Loony Party in the UK, which fulfilled a similar function, and there's never been anyone like it since Lord Such, Screaming Lord Such. He was a similar sort of figure, really. Right, we're a little bit over time. Sorry to keep you, but a last word from both of you would be fantastic. Ladies first, as we go into the winter here in Portugal, although we do have a Verão de São Martinho. It appeared yesterday. It was beautiful yesterday, wasn't it? What's your words of advice to us as we go into the winter, Raquel?
Consider and trust your intuition more. Be positive. Positive things are going to happen. Believe in yourself, and as crazy as your dreams may be, go for them.
Wonderful. Wasn't expecting that, but I'll take it. Thank you very much indeed, Raquel, for being here. We'll see you again next month. We'll be getting quite close to Christmas by that point. Thanks, Raquel. What about you, Nuno?
Well, Raquel did it very deeply, so I'm going to keep it more plain. So winter in Portugal is about hazelnuts in the street.
Yes.
So the smoke of hazelnuts and the environment.
Chestnuts.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
You had me worried. I was thinking, I haven't tried that yet. What's wrong with me? I haven't tried that yet. Where can I get these hazelnuts?
So, no, chestnuts.
Okay, so the Magusto time.
Yes, because I never saw such a thing in the countries that I have visited. At least the way as we find that here, with a lot of smoke, the smell, the taste. So,
very evocative. Yeah. Treat yourself to some castanhas, I think they would be called.
Yes,
castanhas, a little bit of jarapiga as well to warm the cockles of your heart as we head towards Christmas. It's the heralding, the sentinel of Christmas, isn't it? The Magusto time. So yes, one festival leads to another here in Portugal. Thank you both, our Portuguese BFFs. Have a great day. Take care. Bye for now. We'll see you again next month.
Ciao.
Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts.